the more present I am, the happier I am. And the less present I am and the less I am in the moment and truly being here, the less happy I am.
I really strongly believe that social media is the next great addiction. Smoking, alcohol, gambling, social media is right up there. Because you get the same response. You get the same dopamine responses when you're liking things, sharing things, whatever people are liking and commenting. But the more important thing to me is it's the same answer when you ask someone like, hey, can you quit Facebook for a week? And you're like, of course I can. I just don't want to.
Okay, I can and I want to. So here's what happened. When I came back home from Costa Rica, my screen time literally went through the roof. I spent up to 7 hours per day on my phone, and most of the time would be on Instagram, Netflix or YouTube, consuming useless stuff that would only keep my dopamine level high but only satisfy me on a very superficial level. So I decided I had to change something. In the past I've seen all these videos by these fancy creators like Nathaniel Drew, Mette Vila, Lucas Crystal, Steuerung F or whatever. And when I saw a similar video from Yes Theory, I decided to give it a shot myself. But I didn't just want to copy something from the big guys, but really give it my own twist. So I came up with 3 ideas to drastically reduce my screen time. First of all, I have deleted the YouTube app from my phone. Might not be a big deal for lots of you, but YouTube is really to me what Instagram or TikTok may be to you guys. Just scrolling through it, relaxing, chilling. Second of all, I'm not gonna use my phone for the next 30 days before 3 p.m. I'm not sure if this is gonna work out perfectly. This is just what it's all about. To use my phone as less as possible. Okay, and then third of all, I still have Instagram on my phone, but I don't want to use it as I used it before. Okay, now you're probably asking yourself why I didn't just delete Instagram. And the answer is a little bit complicated, but let me put it this way. Of course I could delete all my social media platforms, then delete WhatsApp, and then just throw my phone away. But I think that's a really important point. I think Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, WhatsApp, just in general our smartphones, it all adds a great value to our life. I mean, think about it. You can't even imagine it anymore. A life without a smartphone, a life without WhatsApp. And we want to take advantage of this value, right? But all this also adds something to our lives that was, for me, hard to control. With so many platforms comes a lot of dopamine. That's why we love these platforms. But consuming too much dopamine is actually not healthy. Because the more dopamine we consume, the higher our standard comes. And the higher our standard dopamine level is, the more we need to feel satisfied. Do you remember what Jason said in the beginning?
I really strongly believe that social media is the next great addiction. Smoking, alcohol, gambling, social media is right up there. Because you get the same response. You get the same dopamine responses when you're liking things, sharing things, whatever people are liking and commenting.
So I didn't only feel like I was falling into an addiction, but I also felt that I feel much more fulfilled after being with friends, just sitting in the garden, enjoying the sun, seeking my comfort zone, or spending time with my family. That's why I decided to break out of this pattern and drastically reduce my screen time. Okay, but why not delete Instagram completely? Because I think these platforms, they really add in value to our life. So I'm not trying to live without these platforms. I'm trying to live with these platforms, but not being controlled by it. I want to control Instagram, and Instagram should not control me. And also, I wanted to create 30 days of less social media, where I think I can actually keep these 30 days going for quite a long time.
Ich habe mir jetzt einen Knochen gekauft. Ich entscheide mich dafür. Und soll ich mal sagen, wie oft ich das hier benutzt habe? Gar kein einziges Mal, weil das hier einfach wieder an war. Tja, ich bin hiervon einfach nicht losgekommen.
Okay, so you wanna know what I think, why her experiment didn't work? It was too drastic. She tried to trade her smartphone for, what is this, a phone from the last century? That's too drastic. Don't get me wrong, I think it's a great idea to try this and to experiment. That's just what I do, I'm experimenting. But I think this particular experiment was too drastic. We still want to use the benefits of our smartphones, right? But we have to learn to live with them. So I'm trying to keep Instagram on my phone, but not use it for more than 10 minutes per day. I think that's realistic, and I can keep it going for quite a long time. Okay, so quickly I realized I had a lot more time during my days. I just got home, I have a meeting, an appointment at 12, so I have about 25 minutes. And I usually would just take my phone, check out the messages I got, and then probably end up on Instagram or YouTube and just scrolling through either one of these. And this just gives me 25 minutes of time. Just 25 minutes I can do now something that I usually would just miss and spend time on YouTube or Instagram. Feels good. And I also realized something else. Okay, so I've experienced how much I'm doing with my phone and how much time I'm spending with my phone, while my phone is just there to fill a blank space of, let's say, boredom. I'll give you an example. I go out because I see the weather is actually amazing. So if I now sit down, I usually pull my phone out to fill this blank space of nothing, because I'm sitting here basically not doing anything. I'm just living. I just am. I'm just present. But for the mind, this is not really enough. The mind always wants to have something to sort of stimulation. So I usually get this by putting my phone out. But what I miss by doing this is the huge opportunity that's in this blank space, that's in just sitting here doing nothing and just enjoying life. The longer I did this, the more realizations came to me. Keeping my phone on flight mode as much as possible has made me realize something. I don't know if I can put it into words very good, but my life that I lived for the last couple of weeks here in Germany was really around this little thing here. When I didn't know what to do, I did this. When I was bored, I did this. So basically what I'm trying to say is my life was around this thing here. And now, once it's off, I feel like my life is more about living. The next realization was a big one. Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. What I figured out is I just ate some pasta, and during eating, I was watching video from Yes Theory. This is not for me consuming useless YouTube or social media. This is for me inspiration. Yes Theory is my #1 inspiration in the world, and this video is, amongst other creators, inspired by Yes Theory. So when I watch Yes Theory, it's not consuming social media for me, it's inspiration. But I just realized I ate my pasta and I watched 2 videos of them and I felt bad. It just didn't give me a good feeling. So what I'm learning here is truly the more social media I consume, or let me put it this way, the more present I am, the happier I am. And the less present I am and the less I am in the moment and living and truly being here, the less happy I am. So I learned, yes, how often I use my phone does have an impact on my mental health and how I feel. But there's something else that has an even bigger impact, and that's how much time I spend with and by myself. And by with and by myself, I really mean doing nothing. Maybe going for a walk or eating something, but without consuming something. No podcast, no music, not even inspiration, no phone calls, nothing. I spoke about this with one of my mentors, Manoli Caldes. He's not only a professional coach, but also an absolute expert on this particular topic. He confirmed to me how important it is to spend time with and by yourself, and here's how he does it.
So, ich gehe mindestens einmal am Tag eine halbe Stunde alleine spazieren. Ohne Podcast, ohne Musik, ohne nichts. Ich schaue, dass ich einfach einmal am Tag mit mir auch Zeit irgendwo an einem bestimmten Ort verbringen kann. Ob das jetzt Yoga, Meditation, Journal, Tagebuch ist, was auch immer. Weil natürlich ist es wichtig, dich weiterzubilden. Natürlich ist es wichtig, Wissen zu konsumieren. Aber meine Erfahrung bringt es nichts, wenn ich das erstens nicht umsetze, nicht auch reflektiere und drittens überhaupt überprüfe, ob das gerade für mich relevant ist. Und das mache ich, indem ich mir Zeit nehme, in der ich nichts konsumiere, indem ich mich einfach selber wahrnehme. Wenn ich nicht die Beziehung zu mir selber pflege, kann ich auch nicht erwarten, dass ich eine gute Beziehung habe mit mir selber. Das Erste, was ich am Morgen mache, ist einfach mich hinzusetzen und Gedanken aufzuschreiben. Das aufzuschreiben, was ich gerade wahrnehme. Eine stille Meditation zu machen. Aber da bist du noch sehr, sehr stark bei dir selber. Du nimmst dich sehr gut selber wahr. Bevor du bei all den Meetings, bei all den Personen, bei all den Orten bist, du bist bei dir. Ja, dich weiterzuentwickeln, aber gleichzeitig auch Zeit mit dir selber zu verbringen, um so herauszufinden, wahrzunehmen und zu spüren, wer bin ich überhaupt.
So I started to implement these times in my day where I would do nothing, and let me tell you this, it's a huge game changer. The more time I spent with and by myself, the more present I became. It's not always easy, especially in the beginning when the mind always wants to do something, but I quickly realized it's basically worth it every single time. I want to be honest with you, I'm still struggling to implement this on a daily basis, but as I'm shooting the end of this video, I'm already planning the next one, and that's going for a 30-minute walk for 30 days without consuming anything. I'm super excited how this is going to turn out, and of course you can check it out in the next vlog. Alright, so what's my conclusion? Since I already fell back a little bit into my old habits, I wouldn't try to change too much at once. Rather start with little things, or my absolute #1 game changer, spend more time with yourself. If you're waiting for the bus, don't pull your phone out. If you're sitting in the car, don't listen to music. If you're driving in a train, don't scroll through TikTok or Instagram. And if you're already doing all this, go for a 20 to 30 minute walk without your phone and just be present. Then see what happens. I promise it will change a lot. In the end, I can only draw the conclusion that while these devices add a huge value to our life, they can be very dangerous too. I was using my phone and social media very unconsciously and really felt how that impacted my life. I'm not saying I'm enlightened all of a sudden or something like this, but I definitely spend less time on social media on my phone, and that just feels very good. As the next step, I will try to spend even more time with and by myself, so make sure to check out this video. And by the way, people keep telling me that it's okay to spend time on Netflix or Instagram once in a while, and I don't say it isn't. For me, it was just too much. I just didn't feel what I was doing was once in a while, but it took a pretty big role in my life. But decide for yourself how much is too much and how much is okay. Maybe just my attitude of perfectionism, which I think is never good, that brought me here. But anyway, I'm pretty happy with what I did, what I experimented, and I can only say that I had a lot of realizations and a lot of learnings for myself. So anyway, if you liked the video, make sure to hit the like button and share it with friends if you think they would like it too. Of course, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell, and see you then in the next video. This doesn't have to be true for you. I'm not trying to teach anything here. I'm not trying to coach you guys to your best life. I'm just trying to coach myself and to learn for myself what's best for me.